Well, certain songs bring back memories from different times in our lives, and the same can be said for the album covers, that's what I meant to say. A Valley man has compiled some of his favorites into a book, and they're not necessarily what you would expect. Jeff Marcus is the author and professional DJ, and he is here to tell us more. How are you today?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
You look fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
You are one of the stylish DJs I have ever seen.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about the book and like how it came to be. I'm sure it had something to do with all the songs that you play as a DJ.
Actually, it's from my collection of vinyl. I have over 11,000 45s and 8,200 custom picture jackets that came with the singles.
Wow.
And they're featured in the 2-volume book set that I wrote.
Wow. How many? 11,000?
Yeah. That's just the 45.
Oh, my goodness. That's a lot. You definitely are a collector. So what made you decide to write the book?
You know, I thought particularly in these times when things have been really negative and difficult for so long, the economy and people worrying about everything, daily life, that to travel back in time to a more innocent period when you can relive that childhood, your favorite songs. Girls used to tape these little jackets on their bedroom walls, and, you know, guys like me that didn't have money back then to buy albums could only afford the 45s.
Right.
So it's just taking like a trip down memory lane. It's just a lot of fun to relive your past.
And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to it. We're looking right here at a flock of seagulls.
Yeah.
The 80s.
Yes.
Love the 80s.
Typical 80s, yeah.
What do you think of when you see the flock of seagulls?
Really bad hair.
You can say on TV.
Really bad hair. Really bad hair. It's just a lot of fun. That's a total time capsule. It takes you right back to those early MTV days.
Definitely. How did you decide what artist to write? I mean, if you said you have 11,000 albums, I mean, obviously you couldn't get them all in 2 volumes.
Yeah, it was really hard. What I really wanted to do is balance it out with the iconic artists and the ones that you forgot about, the teen idols, the one-hit wonders, the jokey artists that don't always get their day in the spotlight along the legendary performers.
Yeah, there's a legendary guy
that's
right
an
there.
actually really rare jacket because he was more of an album guy than a 45 guy, so that record cover is extremely rare.
51st anniversary, Hey Joe. Do you have a lot of people that sort of find out about what you do and want to buy your albums?
Yeah, and they ask me, you know, I've got this, what is it worth?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're definitely the go-to guy. What's the best compliment that you've ever received about the books?
I really think the best compliment I've gotten is everyone that's read them said, I've learned something that I never knew before about that particular performer.
Right.
Yeah, so it really gets into details, trivia, controversies about the artist as well.
What will they learn about this guy, Rick James?
Rick James, he was a wild and crazy guy. He lived in the fast lane and paid for it, unfortunately.
Is he still alive?
No, he died a few years back.
Okay,
Yeah.
from living in the fast lane.
Yeah.
So you're taking us through what era? Like, when does it start? Do we go back to the 50s, the 60s?
Yes. Volume 1 is the 50s and 60s, and Volume 2 is the 70s and 80s.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little story. Oh, wait, let's go with Richie Valens. Now, that was stuff that, you know, my parents listened to.
Right.
Richie Valens. Now, but my guess is you listened to it through your parents growing up?
Yeah, I did get introduced to a lot of the earlier rock and roll from my parents, and a lot of my friends liked it too, along with the contemporary stuff. So we liked everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just remember going into my garage as a kid, and every time we would turn on the garage light, the country music would go on.
Right.
So I grew up listening to country music without even trying to, because you couldn't reach the radio.
Yeah.
So I think things like that, just where you are, you know, when the music goes on and what type of music it is.
Yeah, it totally takes you back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So tell me some other interesting things, some things that maybe we wouldn't expect. Do you have a lot of 80s bands like Sean Cassidy and Rick Springfield?
Yep, all the teen idols are in there. Andy Gibb, Donny Osmond.
Yes.
Yeah, you have Christy and Jimmy McNichol, if you remember them.
Oh, I totally
They're in there
remember
too.
them.
Yeah. You know, people that you forgot about or didn't even knew made a record, like the guy that played Benson on the TV series. Yeah, he was on Soap, and then he had his own spin-off. He's in there. He made a record too. So you've got like
was
the Beatles.
Was it a good record?
Oh, it was awful.
Oh,
it was awful. It was terrible.
Which is why we had no idea
exactly.
that he played a record.
Right.
That it was in it.
So that's the fun of it. You've got the Beatles and the Stones, and then you've got these joke artists too. It's
but
just
you
a lot
give
of fun.
them the time of day too, the joke artists.
Yeah, I think it's important that you want to cover all the people that you don't necessarily hear about too.
What is the most unique and interesting artist that you've ever met?
That I ever met? Well, when I was a kid, I actually met Michael Jackson.
You did?
Yeah, he was doing a concert, and my grandfather knew the gentleman that had the stadium where they performed at, and we actually met them after the show, the Jackson 5, when they were performing.
Did he give you an autograph? Did you get an
No, we just talked with them a little bit.
No autograph?
No, we didn't have an autograph at the time.
Bummer.
No.
Well, this sounds really fascinating.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Do we have more volumes to come?
If these do well enough, we'll be doing more, yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Well, we want to let everybody know where they can go catch you and maybe get your autograph.
All right.
You can catch up with Jeff at Bookman's Entertainment Exchange in Mesa on Saturday. He's going to be there for a book signing from 2 to 5. The address is right there on your screen, 1056 South Country Club Drive. And we're also going to have a link to his website if you'd like to go ahead and buy the books there.